Hey, ALANNIS, do you like reviewing movies twice?
Especially movies like this.
That's
Yeah.
right, people. We have fucked up. And we have reviewed this movie tonight already, and this is the second time we're going to review it. But anyways, that's what happens. We are continuing our Halloween ranked and reviewed series with our ranked and reviewed episode of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Hello everyone and welcome back to Ranked and Reviewed. I'm your host, TOMYE West. Joining me as always is my co-host, ALANNIS MAXIMUS. And we are continuing our Halloween Ranked and Reviewed series with our review of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. It would mean a lot. And if you comment, we'll comment back. And that's a threat.
Twice.
That's a threat, twice. So with that, let's get into our review for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch for the second time tonight. ALANNIS! Usually we check out a trailer right now. But, don't give a fuck. We've already watched it tonight. What did we think of this movie? ALANNIS, you go ahead.
Once more with gusto, I guess.
Please do tell us. I have no idea what you're going to say.
It will be shocking. For a Halloween movie, it really just didn't hit the mark. It feels like a movie. I've seen some bad B-grade horror 80s movies, and I think to enjoy this movie you have to be into that kind of genre or era. Wasn't a bad 80s horror movie. It wasn't great. It was too long, but it wasn't bad. It was a bad Halloween movie though. It feels like it would have been more fitted to like a 45-minute creep show or Tales from the Crypt episode than a feature-length movie, because it dragged at the start really badly.
I agree that it should have been something similar to like this could have been a Goosebumps TV show episode. Definitely. Not a Halloween movie. So with that, I'm going to get into my thoughts because ALANNIS wants to hear them again, I guess. This movie, I don't like it, and it's not because this movie is a bad movie. It's because this movie has the Halloween name behind it. And right now we're in sort of like this mode where we're like reviewing all the Halloween movies. And that means we're reviewing all the Michael Myers movies. And because this isn't a Michael Myers movie, I just didn't have any interest in watching it. And I'm not super into sci-fi horror from the 80s. I never have been. There's not really any more movies from the 80s horror-wise that... Look, I'm not really into horror movies in general. Slasher movies, I feel, are almost like their own genre. I don't feel like horror... They are a horror movie, but I also feel like slashers are different to horror.
Definitely.
They're sort of like in their own genre. You've got Scream, you've got Halloween, you've got Jason Voorhees, you've got Freddy Krueger, even though that's sort of got some different horror elements to an extent. But you've got all these like slasher movies that kind of fit into their own bracket. And Halloween 3 doesn't fit that bracket. It doesn't even really feel like a horror movie as such to me, more than it does a sci-fi movie.
Absolutely. It feels like the Twilight Zone almost.
Exactly. That's what I mean. This feels like an X-Files thing more than it does feel like a fucking Halloween movie. And that's why I didn't like this movie. This movie, I couldn't even sit through it and enjoy it for what it was, simply because of the title and everything surrounding Halloween. I don't know. I just feel like what they were trying to do with this movie, like, which was we're going to leave Michael Myers in the past and bring new stories in and keep the Halloween franchise going, but every time it's something new or something different. It was too late. It should have been done after the first one so that people didn't have these expectations. But they'd done it and they made two. And as I was saying in the review before, It's almost like if we fucking got the Predator movie back in the set, like when this movie came out in 1982, and it was called Predator 3 after there'd been 2, 2 before that, but instead of the Predator being in it, it was something completely different. Like, it's on that level of being like, well, what the fuck? This is what we know this series for. What happened? And that's what I kind of feel like this movie was. I feel like they used the name Halloween to leech off the success of the original 2. Otherwise, I almost don't feel like it was worthwhile using the Halloween name. I almost feel like now you could take the Halloween name off this movie with a re-release on Blu-ray, just call it Season of the Witch, and people would accept it more than having the name Halloween 3. I almost feel like it could have a second life if you took the name off it still, and did it now, and kind of took that out of being in the timeline for the Halloween movies. How do you feel about that?
I agree, and I feel like even in the names, if they're doing these anthologies, they shouldn't have numbered them either. Like, just thinking about it just then, like, obviously Halloween 2 because it was a Michael Myers movie, but I feel if you're going for the anthology, it should have been just Halloween and name, Halloween and name, Halloween. There's so much that just set this up for failure, and I don't get it because at this point, Michael Myers had defined the slasher genre. He essentially given birth to Jason Voorhees. It was in full speed. There's no way they couldn't have gone, maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe this is a gamble. Different days, I guess. Like, but
that's something we didn't do on the last review before it all went to shit and we had to redo it tonight. I was going to check out how many Friday the 13th movies had sort of come out by the time this movie had hit. So we'd gotten Friday the 13th in 1980, followed by Friday the 13th Part 2 in 1981, followed by Friday the 13th Part 3 in 1982. So we'd gotten 2 Friday the 13th movies. I'm sure back then there was already people that were like, I'm a Jason Voorhees person, I like Friday more. And there were people that were like, I like Halloween more, I'm a Michael Myers person. So when you've already got that sort of like comparison, to then go a different way, but the other one to keep going full steam ahead, which is what Friday the 13th did with the Jason Voorhees story, yeah, it almost feels like they missed a big opportunity back then, because I think this movie really bombed. As far as I know, from memory, I remember this not doing as well as other Halloween movies, but I think that it did well first weekend or something like that, and that's because back then we didn't have internet. We didn't have outlets to let us know exactly what was going on with films and stuff. So when people like opened their newspaper back in the day to see what was showing at the local fucking movie complex, they would have seen Halloween 3 and they would have gone, oh, I like the first 2 Halloween movies. And some of these people would have gone and seen this movie sight unseen and been had a very pleasant surprise that this was nothing to do with the movies previously. So I just feel like this movie set itself up for a lot of confusion, disappointment, and levels of expectations that were never going to be met because of simply going in the direction they did without Michael Myers.
That's an interesting thought. How many people do you reckon were a little bit late to the movie because they wanted to get that bag of popcorn or suddenly had to take a shit or got caught in traffic, missed the intro credits, and sat there and went, am I in the right cinema?
Yeah, no shit, man. That would be super bizarre. You know what I mean? Like, excuse me, is this the right movie? Projectionist, like, where's Michael Myers? Where's the stabby? You know what I mean? So let's have a quick look at this. Let's compare, yeah? The budget for this movie was $2.5 million. On its opening weekend, it did $6.3 million. And it grossed worldwide $14 million. Around $14 million. Now, let's compare that to Halloween 2's budget / making. Box office. So, with a budget of $2.5 million, the same. Opening weekend, $7 million. $7.5. Gross worldwide, $25 million. So that's a big difference, man. Like, That's 10
Yes.
million more worldwide. Let's have a quick look at number 1, Halloween 1. I want to see what that grossed completely, because so that was, that's even bigger. That's 47 million. So gross worldwide. So you're looking at a franchise that already kind of suffered a severe drop off with Halloween 2, and then for them to be like, well, they still are doing very well. Let's make a third one, continuing the story. They were like, these are doing pretty well. Let's fuck it up and make a shit one.
Which I don't. I'm pretty sure John Carpenter had a hand in Creepshow. I'm almost certain. He had his anthology. Like he kind of. I don't get why he pushed for
look that up
this.
if he did indeed have a hand in that. So John Carpenter, around that time, the season of The Witch came out and stuff. He'd done Halloween in 1978, Halloween 2 in 1981, Halloween 3. No, he doesn't look like he did have anything to do with the Creepshow.
Oh, I am mistaken then.
He did Escape from New York, The Fog, Assault on Precinct 13. And
He did Escape from New York. I did not know that.
If you have a look at his IMDb, Halloween 2, in between Halloween 2 and Halloween 3, he's credited with nothing. Like it's the same, like Halloween 2 and then Halloween followed by Halloween 3. Apparently he's uncredited on Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. It's just interesting that they decided to completely take Halloween in the direction they went with this movie. You know what's hilarious too is the fact that John Carpenter said he wanted nothing to do with Halloween, the franchise anymore. He sold off a lot of his rights. Yet, when you look at his bio, it's filled with it, man. It's like Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Black Moon Rising, Prince of Darkness, They Live, Halloween 5, El Diablo, Blood River, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, Escape from LA, Halloween H2O, Ghosts of Mars, Halloween Resurrection. Then, because then he's like got these like short, like he's credited for shorts, which is Jason versus Leatherface and Michael versus Jason. And then it's weird, man, because he's like his fucking filmography gets even weirder towards the end of it. Listen to this. So, Halloween Resurgence, never heard of it. Halloween Existence, Halloween Awakening, The Legacy of Michael Myers, Halloween Harvest of Souls, Halloween The Rebirth of Michael Myers, Halloween 60, Halloween Haddonfield Nightmare, Myers the Series, Myers the Evil of Haddonfield, Myers the Monsters of Haddonfield, Halloween Unforgiving, Halloween Immortal, Halloween Kills, The Haddonfield Nightmare, The Shape, a Halloween fan film, Halloween Comes Around, Halloween Ends, and Halloween. What the fuck, man? Way to distance yourself from the Halloween franchise, you know what I mean? I'm going to distance myself, but you know what? I'm just going to do nothing but Halloween stuff from now on. So let's get into some of the things about this movie that they, I guess, did right. Let's try and put the fact that this is a Halloween movie in the distance, far, far away. Which, listen, I tried to do many times, but unsuccessful. And ALANNIS, let me hear some of the things that you think they did well in this movie and the things you did enjoy about this movie.
I think some of the story itself was interesting, and I think condensed would have been really good. Like it was a pretty fresh story. Like it and the casting as well. Like guy who I now know is also a guy from RoboCop 2. Always knew. Definitely didn't not know. Haven't done this twice.
Anyway. Hey, the bad guy was in RoboCop and RoboCop 2.
Yes. He was really good. Like he made my skin crawl. And even before you knew how kind of twisted he was, he's just that scene, like the second you see him, you're like, you are unsettling. You are really unsettling. But yeah, some of the kills, like they were graphic for the time, and like kind of laughable now. But they were decent kills. But yeah, I think those were the best points really. My best takeaways: the story, the main bad guy and some of the kills in it. But yeah, the pace of the movie is what really lets it down. Outside of being titled a Halloween movie, which is just, I'll say it again and again. I can't get my head around how they thought it was a good idea. Like, at least it couldn't have been that hard to see, not in retrospect. Like, I don't get it.
It's really strange, man, because as I said, then they had sort of like someone being like a competitor, which was Friday the 13th had spawned. And obviously there was people that obviously like both, but again, it's kind of like, or maybe they even looked at Friday the 13th and were like, we're not just going to do the same thing that they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, that could have been the direction they took this. That's why they went with this. We're going to do something different. But again, it really didn't work for them. You know what I mean? It just failed in every way, I think.
Yes. And it's, as we both said as well, it's not really a horror movie. It's more a sci-fi movie. Like, I wouldn't put this down to horror.
It's crazy, man, because I was just looking at Halloween 4 to compare like how well that did coming back as Michael Myers again, and that grossed 17 million. So obviously Halloween 3 only grossing 14 million. Yes, 17 million doesn't seem like a lot more, but it definitely is a step up, and that would have shown that that's what people wanted.
Yeah. So, and I wonder what if there would have been even more if they kept it as Michael Myers, because there would have been a drop off there where people would have gone, Halloween.
It's really strange. Yeah, I wonder what people thought. I wonder if people were like, "Oh, wow, cool, Michael Myers is coming back," or if people weren't really like. As I said, a lot of people probably went into this movie expecting a Halloween movie and got Halloween 3. I wonder if people went into Halloween 4 that were like, I wonder if this is going to be completely different again. Or if most people... I'm pretty sure it would have been billed as he's coming back. Actually, it makes sense considering the movie's called The Return of Michael Myers. I just wonder how many people had... Like, back in the day, you would have opened up your newspaper, had a look at what's on in the local megaplex, or whatever, and would have said Halloween 4. But did it have that subtitle of The Return of Michael Myers for everyone? And surely it didn't. You know what I mean? That's a long fucking movie title. So, again...
Maybe it was a new Coke thing. Maybe they're like, no Michael Myers. Lol, he's back. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But it also doesn't make sense because that's a really fucking expensive thing to do.
What a shit show, by the way, New Coke.
Yeah.
Whose fucking idea was that, man? To be like, let's take a drink that is really loved, probably one of the most loved drinks in America, like the number one most loved drink, like soft drink, like soda, and let's change its formula and not even give people the option to drink the older formula. Let's just fucking replace this one. And then everyone was like, this new Coke tastes like garbage. And they were like, don't worry, we're bringing back the old one. Like, what a fucking shit show, dude. Oh, man. Pepsi. Still worse than New Coke. I don't know. I never tried New Coke. Did you?
No.
Did New Coke even come to Australia? Was that a thing?
I don't know. I feel like New Coke might have been before both of our time.
It definitely was. I just want to know if it was like a worldwide thing. Because I know that Americans were all up in arms and were like, give me my Coca-Cola back, which is kind of like what we were like with this Michael Myers thing, which is like, give us our fucking slasher movie back.
Speaking of which, and completely off topic, Starburst are gone in Australia now.
Really?
Yeah, discontinued. Gone.
That's weird, man, because like I thought they were really popular.
Yeah, apparently something supply chain, something rubbish, gone.
I'm a big lolly fan, man, but I'm more of a sour lolly person, and Starburst just never have hit that sour level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's get back to our review and not talk about New Coke. But you know what? It's pretty hard.
Lollies, ranked and reviewed. Coming soon.
It's pretty hard for us not to talk about something like New Coke or Starburst, which for all you Americans that might watch or people that don't have any idea what Starburst are, they're a very popular lolly brand in Australia, like candy. So let's get back to our Halloween 3 review. It's just really hard for us to do this because we've already done it once tonight. And we both aren't the biggest fans of this movie, so chore after chore after chore, ALANNIS. So, yeah, this movie, let's get into some of... Is there anything we want to say as our closing thoughts on what we thought about this movie before we go on to our trivia and ranking of this movie?
I think I've said most of it. Needed to be shorter. Some cool things. If you like your B-grade horror movies, it's worth a watch. If you want to watch a Halloween movie, you're going to upset yourself. Don't. Like, if you're watching the Continuum, just don't put this in there.
If you want what you're seeing on my TV behind me right now, Michael Myers and the stabby, then this movie's not for you.
You, guy that's going to watch it then be upset. I see you. I see you.
Elliot. So, with that, let's get into our trivia for Halloween 3. Now, before we get into the trivia, I just want to let a lot of people know. If you want the real trivia behind this movie, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Buy the book Taking Shape or listen to it on audiobook. It's available on Audible, I think, and things like that. Taking Shape 1 is all about the making of the Halloween movies. It's called Taking Shape, Halloween from Script to Screen. It goes through from 1 till the Rob Zombie movies, about how they came about, what was in the script, what was taken out of the scripts, like all this interesting shit about the Halloween franchise is in this book. And if you want some really cool trivia and to know a little bit more about all the movies, including this junkyard movie, go get that book. Also, there's Taking Shape 2, which is about the unmade, shelved Halloween movies and ones that just never came to fruition. So check those out because I couldn't recommend them more, and I really want Audible to hit me up and be like, hey, we want to sponsor the show. So Audible, do it. I want my books to play, goddammit.
Audio. I've already fucked up their name, so we're screwed now.
Yeah, no. They're going to be like, fuck yous. So with that, let's get into our trivia. Let's try and read some different trivia to what we read last time because let's keep it fresh for ourselves, I guess. It took over 40 takes to get the shot when Tom Atkins throws the skull mask on a security camera. Director Tommy Lee Wallace revealed during the cast's 2015 reunion that the scene took longer than he expected because during the shoot he playfully tossed the mask and it caught on the very first try. Okay. Dick Warlock, we've already said this one, the stuntman who played Michael in Halloween 2, is credited under Assassin in the ending credits.
I'm just happy to hear the name Dick Warlock again.
Yeah, Dick Warlock. The tagline of this movie is "The Night No One Comes Home," and it is a play on the original Halloween's tagline, "The Night He Came Home." Which again, I thought again that adds to the fuckery and the confusion of this movie completely.
And Season of the Witch as well. The fuck, man! Like
Dick Warlock in Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the night nobody came home.
God damn you, cock sorcerer!
Cock sorcerer. The original writer of the story was Nigel Neal, but he sued the producers to take his name off the movie after seeing how violent it was. The movie takes place around Halloween 1982. I'm just gonna cut that one shorter.
Yeah.
The original Halloween movie from 1978 can be seen on a TV being advertised in this film, which is very interesting. The only time my whole body went, whoa, because it went, and showed Michael Myers. I was like, finally, what we're all here to say. And then I fell asleep. By the way, I fell asleep through this movie like 5 times. I tried really hard. Writer/director Tommy Lee Wallace would go on 8 years later to direct a miniseries adaptation of Stephen King's It in 1990. That's an interesting thing. I want to know. What do you prefer, the television series of It or the movies? Like with Tim.
Oh, it's a tough one. They're good in their own way. Like Tim Curry as Pennywise is just.
You're not gonna like my opinion.
Don't make me choose.
You're not gonna like my opinion, man. Because you were going to go, Tim Curry as Pennywise is just, and I was going to go, terrible. Dude, it was fine for the 1990s. It was fine when there was the first. That was the only adaptation of it. But Bill Skarsgård just took it.
I think it hit such a spot for me because that movie literally terrified me as a kid. So I have that respect. Like, I didn't look at the moon through my window for years because, his face appears in it and it's like, kill them all.
Yeah.
I did not look at the moon through my window for years because of that, because that freaked me right the fuck out. Like,
besides this movie, another John Carpenter movie, The Thing in 1982, also ends ambiguous like Halloween 3, leaving the audience to question whether or not if anyone survives after the credits go black. The body count in this movie is 9. In Halloween Kills in 2021, 3 of Michael Myers' victims are displayed wearing the silver shamrock masks on the merry-go-round. Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock. Director Tommy Lee Wallace was the voice of the announcer in Silver Shamrock commercials and radio spots on this film. Happy, happy Halloween, 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 silver shamrock. Yeah, we'll go 2 more. Considering John Carpenter usually is the head composer, the music heard during the robot henchman scenes bears many similarities to Stephen King's Christine in 1983, 1 year after this movie. So then again, that fact makes no sense, because then when you say Stephen King's Christine has many things similar to Halloween 3 because it came afterwards, like, I don't know. That seems a little weird to me. We'll go with 1 more.
Ooh, heat trivia makes good.
You have to speak up wearing a towel. I can't even find one. In Spain, the movie wasn't projected in cinemas until 34 years later, only in a premiere in Barcelona for 1 day in a subtitled version. See? Spain's got the right idea. They didn't even know there was a Halloween 3 until this fucking movie came out 35 years later. They got the right idea, man. Spain were like, not much.
There's a bunch of really confused Spanish people going,
hey, where's the Michael Myers at?
2, 4.
Yeah. 1, 2, 4. Where's 3? 1, 3, de 3. Where the fuck are Michael Myers at? That sounds like Italian. What is it? This Halloween? And this is no Michael Myers. Where the Michael Myers at? I'm not gonna stabby. Good times, man. Good times.
Could you imagine waiting 30 years to see this movie?
Yeah. I just kind of went there for the Halloween. Imagine they've only had a Halloween 1 and 2 up until now. And they're like, 35 years we've been waiting for a new Halloween movie. Halloween 3 comes up. They're like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Ay. Oh no, man. We're cancelled. We are cancelled. Riba! Oh, we're just fucking with you. So, with that, ALANNIS, let's get into our ranking of this movie. Now, ALANNIS, give me a little brief summary on why this movie sucks compared to the first 2. Because we both have got this ranked at number 3. And I don't know how far this is going to climb up the ladder the further we go on with these Halloween movies. Do you feel like this is going to end up being your bottom movie? Or do you think this is going to end up not even hitting the bottom? Maybe Halloween Resurrection's that garbage dumpster on fire.
I think it's if it's not at the bottom the whole time, it's going to be hanging out there. Like it's not going to do a massive climb here.
It'd be so funny next week. You're like, you know what? I've rethought it. I'm putting it to number 1. So for all of you at home, Halloween 1. My ranking number 1 is Halloween 2, Halloween 1. Number 3, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. ALANNIS is exactly the same with number 1, Halloween 2, number 2, Halloween, number 3, Season of the Witch.
feel these aren't going to stay uniform.
They're definitely
this
not
is going to
going
get shaken up.
They're definitely not to, because when I said to you we're going to do the Halloween movies and you were like, oh, no, not fucking Halloween H2O, I was like, no, dude, trust me, that's not too bad. So it's going to be interesting to see what you think of these movies. I'm really looking forward to next week when we can return to an actual Halloween movie, because I don't want to be sitting there doing this again. Aye, aye, aye! Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. So, that was our ranked and reviewed episode of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. That is continuing our Halloween ranked and reviewed series. And next week, we're up to part 4 with Halloween 4, The Curse. No, The Return. The Return of Michael Myers. Fuck all these names, man. It's hard to keep track, you know. How are you feeling about Halloween 4 next week?
I have absolutely no memory of Halloween 4, so let's see if I remember it.
There's some funny parts in it, man. Like some really fucking hilariously bad fuck-ups in it. Like, there's one part in it. I'm going to have to try and bring this up if I quickly can, man. Dude, there's one part in it where they put the wrong mask on Michael Myers, and not only was it the wrong mask completely, but it was pink. And no one apparently noticed this shit, man. And it's like, what are you talking about? Of course, here it is, dude. This is such a bad mask, and the hair and everything, bro. Like, dude, this is hilariously bad. I can't wait till you see this. Open image and new tab. All right, dude, this is legit one of the fucking things in it. Look at that, man. Hold on. Can we see it bigger? We're gonna see this bigger. Here we go. Like, look at this shit, man. What happened, bro? Who the fuck didn't notice this shit, man? Like, honestly, look at this thing. Like, I can't wait, man, till we watch Halloween 4. Like, there's so many good parts in it. It's a great Halloween movie to come back to with Michael Myers. There's a lot more action in it. It's a lot more, like, fast-paced. It's weird, though, because it ends on that weird ending, which I'm not going to spoil for everybody. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but kind of ends on an ending where you thought, well, Michael Myers is no longer going to be the killer. You know what I mean? And then they're like, with number 5, they're like, forget it. Michael Myers is back again. We learned our lesson with Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Don't worry about it. So everyone, make sure you come back and check out our review next week of Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, alongside our Predator 2 review, which is dropping next week. This week, we've obviously dropped Halloween 3. You're watching that now. And we dropped that alongside our Predator review to continue our Predator ranked and reviewed series, where we started off with the brand new entry in that franchise, Prey. And with these Halloween movies, we're doing one a week, leading up to the release of the final movie in the franchise, the final movie, Halloween Ends, releasing October 13th, 2022. So just the week before that, you should get our review on Halloween Kills, if we time it right, unlike every other time we've tried to do this. We're really bad with timing these things, you know that?
Yes.
Like, we were like, oh no, there's a Predator movie coming out. We got 5 days. What do we do?
Let's do it backwards because it's a prequel.
Exactly. Let's just do what we did with Batman, you know? Which sent our channel into the ground by the 10th episode, so whatever.
But now we're doing it with Halloween. And quality movies such as Halloween 3.
Season of the Witch. Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. It's stuck in my head, and it's annoying me. It's stuck in my head, and now it's going to be stuck in yours. All right, let's end this shit, Alan. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
Let's do what probably half the audience did in the middle of this fucking movie when they went and saw it at cinemas and get the fuck out. Halfway through. Where's that Michael Myers? And then 35 years later, the Spanish are like, hey, Michael Myers! You know what I mean? So, Española, Senora, Michael Myers. So, one day we should just try and say as many words we can that we know in other languages and just try to run the show in fucking a complete different language. El gato al gato uno. That's the cat number one, man.
Ah. Wow.
Pero uno. Dog number one. I know one thing in Spanish. Hola, esa es la nueva vecina. That's hello. Are you the new next door neighbor?
Ah.
Man, I was teaching myself Spanish for a bit, and that lasted all 3 weeks. Babble. Good for 3 weeks. All right, let's get the fuck out of here again. See you later, Halloween 3. Nice knowing you. Everyone, thank you for watching Ranked and Reviewed. We will see you next week. Till then, ay ay ay!